Hi, welcome back to With Bowl and Spoon. I'm your host, Shelley Danko Day. We're taking a trip down memory lane today with a remastered version of my interview with Katie Heldstab from Leona's Ice Cream. This interview was recorded back in January of 2021. It was right after New Year's. We had just started to get used to the idea of not going anywhere, and it was before the vaccine, so we were in a really weird place. We were in a very weird place, although we had a pretty good conversation. Leona's recently had a soft launch of their scoop shop set to open in Lawrenceville later this month. It's in Lawrence Hall, which is right next door to La Gourmandine on Butler Street. It looks like it's going to be really amazing. It's going to be a great addition to the neighborhood with 4 other food businesses in there, so it should be fun and delicious. Well, I really hope you enjoy this episode.
Everyone knows that food is cool. No secret. Eat that food with a bowl and spoon. Take that spoon. Everyone knows that food is cool. No secret. Eat that food with a bowl and spoon.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Shelley.
Hi, everybody. This is my guest today, Katie Heldstab.
Yes, Heldstab.
Co-owner of Leona's Ice Cream Sandwiches and also a big foodie. Welcome and thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So Katie and I are friends and neighbors, and we've known each other for, I don't know how many years.
Probably five or six.
Since Co-Star Brewing opened. We're kind of the Co-Star crowd.
Alley cats.
Yeah, that's fun. You never know who you'll find on Co-Star Way.
Yeah, right.
So we met in the alley drinking beer at the Co-Star Brewery. And then, realize there's so many foodies that hang out there too.
Yeah.
That's
I
really
feel
cool.
like good beer always brings people who like good food as well, just because it's not what we're drinking isn't like a standard, a Miller Lite or a Coors or something like that. Not that we can't enjoy a Miller Lite every once in a while, but
I was going to say, actually, Co-Star Brewery often doesn't have their own beer, and they end
No.
up having Miller Lite.
I know. They used to, but then they're, high demand and,
And
small
the
facility. And the COVID.
COVID.
Boo.
The COVID sort of has wrecked a bunch of things, but it's also made some things pretty good. And I think you guys did a pretty nice pivot with your business during the COVID.
Yeah. We didn't necessarily have to do as much as like a restaurant did, just because of our business model. We're wholesale, and then we did catering and a smattering of like events, like food truck roundups and things like that. And this year, we had already decided that our business was such where we did not need to do fairs and festivals and things like that as a revenue stream. We're still really small, so it's just like 6 employees and then Krista and I. So running the business and doing events was like exhausting. And we're on year 7 and we're like, okay, if we don't have to do events financially, we're not going to, because it's just exhausting. But
it's good marketing though.
It is. So we decided at the end of last year that we were going to do a handful of things that we would already be attending because they're fun. So we had a handful of things that we were going to do for fun, but weren't counting on for revenue. So when those things didn't happen this year, it didn't necessarily hurt us, except socially. We were just sad that we couldn't, hang out with our friends really. But because we have that wholesale model, we already deliver to stores and restaurants and breweries and things like that, and don't have like a direct sale model. So it wasn't as difficult to kind of retool some of the stuff that we did, as it was for a lot of our like restaurant friends and brewery friends. And we just lost kind of all of that portion of our business, unfortunately. But, I'm really thankful that we don't have a storefront that I had to deal with. That was really like an eye-opening moment when we realized that what we had regretted doing, not having a storefront, ended up being kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. But I mean, you have a lot of really great partners, retail partners that sell your
Yes.
ice cream sandwiches,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, we've got so pre-COVID, we had between 80 and 90 different locations. And now we have about 60 different locations. I'm pretty confident that those places will come back. I'm
Yeah.
hoping, but you know, whatever happens, just
Yeah,
hope
it's
everyone comes out on the other side.
interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Is
I
for
wonder
sure.
I often wonder what we're gonna end up calling this period of time. These times seems to be what everyone's referring
I
it is right now, but
Yeah, the darkness. I call it the darkness. It's
it's real
just
weird. Well, some people
yeah.
have made out pretty well during it too. So
Yeah. It just depends, and like the strangest industries are doing well. Like things that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Like home improvement. Like
yeah,
try to get a contractor to fix a window. Good luck. We've been
yeah.
waiting for a window for 6 months. So,
Oh no.
yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know. I mean, it's great that like they're busy. Anytime
Yeah,
like someone says, "Oh, it's going to be a wait. We're really busy." I'm like, "That's fine.
yeah.
Good. I'm glad that you're making money. I'm glad that you're able to, support your business." So,
I
yep.
wanted to make a point that you are a woman-owned business, a small business, and you are going to be independent forever. And
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
But we like to
Yes.
support small food businesses and women-owned businesses specifically. So thanks. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always like tempting to like especially when it's really hard like the middle of winter. It's always really hard for us. February is really hard. So like it's always tempting to think like, oh, but what if we had investors and we wouldn't be having to move money around to figure out how to pay people? You know what I mean? But then
Yeah.
it's like, and you have to answer to them, and I don't do well with authority, and neither does Krista. So we'd rather like hustle and figure it out than have to bow down to a corporate master. you
Yeah.
know we
Yeah.
both did that long enough in our day jobs like previously, so done with that.
Well, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're my hero for that. I really love that idea.
Thanks.
So your food roots though, you're not from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so I am originally from Minneapolis or Minnesota. So I grew up steeped in hot dish and bland food. A lot of beige items crossed my plate. There's a lot of plain food, and I didn't realize it until I left. Um, so I started out in Minnesota for the first 18 years, and then I went to school in Wisconsin and moved to Milwaukee. And
Wait,
while
let's go
still,
back to the hot dish. The hot
um,
dish was from your roots? What explain hot
yes.
dish.
So hot dish is like a casserole. It comes in all sorts of different flavors. Anything you put in a 9 by 13 pan or
Okay.
like a covered baking dish can be considered a hot dish. I mean, I have several cookbooks that are hot dish cookbooks.
So it's
So
food in a dish that's hot.
it's hot. It could be anything.
Okay.
Usually it features some kind of frozen bagged vegetable mixed with some kind of cream of whatever soup.
Okay.
Um,
Bag of
so
vegetables, can of soup,
yeah, usually some ground meat that has been cooked and barely spiced.
meat.
Not Yeah, so like ground beef,
Uh-huh.
or ground pork, usually ground beef. Um, and, some type of crunchy, um, like French's crunchy onions,
Oh,
the to go on the top, or like a tater tot, or
oh,
sometimes
the
potato
tater
chip.
tots.
Yeah, occasionally there's a noodle involved.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different things. I mean, it's a world unto itself. And like sheet pan dinners are all the rage, like one pot dinners. This is the original one pot dinner,
Yeah,
like
that sounds
um
like, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So and like, I make fun of it, but it's also like the food I grew up on.
It's totally open for making fun of. It's
Yes. And like in,
don't feel bad.
a couple years ago in Minneapolis, try to stay connected to the Minneapolis food scene because there's a lot of really amazing, interesting things happening there, um, which I'll get to in a second because I do want to mention it. Um, but there was a restaurant that served like rotating hot dish, and like they would just pick a type, and each week there'd be kind of a different kind of hot dish, and it would come out in like those they're like big ramekins that you would get at like Ruth's Chris that have like the creamed spinach in it. You know what I'm talking about? They're
Uh-huh.
kind of low, but that would be like full of whatever kind of hot dish is on the menu. And it was like kitsch, but people are getting back to
So they're like
that.
mini hot dishes.
Yeah, yeah, instead of like the big 9 by 13. That's
Full
family size.
serving.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I try to stay at least. I don't get back to Minnesota very often, but I do try to stay informed on the restaurant scene and what's happening there. And there's some really interesting things that I wish were happening when I lived there. Um, and so the Hmong community is
Oh,
really big in Minnesota.
mm,
There's a huge Hmong population, and um, they have definitely um, kind of graduated into the food world and gone from like mom's kitchen to like actual storefronts. And there's one big one. It's called Union Hmong Kitchen, I believe. I follow him on Instagram, and it's like home cooking from the Hmong community, which is like an interesting kind of nomadic group of people from like the Thailand, Vietnam area. So they've
mm,
been displaced over and over and over again. So
yeah.
their food culture is like really interesting. But unfortunately it's there and I'm here and I can't eat it. But
Oh,
it's on my list. So as soon as COVID lifts, I'm gonna go and eat some Hmong food.
heading
Um,
home. Nice.
yeah. So but from Minneapolis, 18 years old, I moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and that was like, while it's still Midwest, it's the food culture is a little bit different. There's a lot more, at least maybe where I was, there's a lot more venison sausage involved, which is
Okay.
delicious. Yeah. Um, and Milwaukee's very similar to Pittsburgh where it's like neighborhoods.
Hmm.
Um, so you're from your neighborhood, and then you're from your church, and then you're from the city. And all the neighborhoods were kind of ethnically divided, which makes it one of the most segregated cities in the country. You wouldn't expect that of Milwaukee, but it absolutely is. But it
Interesting.
also allowed like Greek culture to thrive, and um, Mexican culture to thrive, and Polish culture. So you can like walk down the street in different neighborhoods and hear mass being said in different languages, which is pretty
Right.
cool. So I was there through college and then for several years after before I moved to Pittsburgh. Um, so that really influenced not necessarily my eating, but more of my drinking because I was in college and after.
Mhm.
But Milwaukee's really known for like the corner bar, and because our liquor rules are a lot different in Milwaukee versus Pittsburgh, there's more of them. Like your average neighborhood would have four, maybe seven, 4 to 7 different little bars, and it literally is like the first floor of a house.
So like someone just started selling beer out of the
I
house.
mean, they're legit bars, but they look like a house, and
It's
you
like
just
going to a friend's house, but you
yeah,
can't get
yeah,
to
but
their
it's a
beer.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bar. Um, and like
That's kind of to have that many. I mean, can you imagine having 7 or 8 bars in Highland Park? What do we well, I guess maybe we do, but they're all in the one area.
yeah, this is like
One,
in
two.
between like houses, like it's just
Yeah.
they were just not as strict. Um, and it's a pretty intense drinking culture, but the drinks are different, like than anything I've had, like a
I just think
whiskey
of old
press.
Milwaukee beer, which is like pretty
Not
bad.
great. Yeah, it's not great. You have to drink it really cold, like ice cold, and then it's like palatable. Pabst is good ice cold. Just one.
Is that also
Just
from Milwaukee?
yes, yeah, Pabst Brewery. And Miller is based there,
Mm.
so a lot of my college friends like ended up getting jobs there, and
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. And then I keep progressing east. The plan was to go west originally and that just didn't happen. So I just keep coming east.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I ended up in Pittsburgh and my head exploded in terms of food because it is so different than anything that I had experienced living in the Midwest.
Yeah.
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 Just like,
Explain that. Explain why.
I mean, I lived in a Polish neighborhood in Milwaukee, and I never had a pierogi.
What? What do they eat?
Didn't even know what they were. You know, just it's more German influenced, like more sausage or you know meats, things like that. But yeah, never even heard of a pierogi. And
That is
now, like,
weird.
it is weird. But I guess, I mean, just depends on what part of Poland your ancestors came from and like what foodways they brought with them.
I don't know.
I mean, the fact that
Pierogies
there's
are like a standard. I thought. I mean, I grew up. My grandma was Polish, and my grandfather was Slovak, and so that was one side of my family. And yeah, we
right.
always had pierogies and made pierogies, and
Yeah, but like
Polish.
it's not a thing. It's just not a thing. And fish fry culture was surprising to me when I came here because fish fry culture, while it ramps up during Lent in Milwaukee, it's actually all year round. Like that you can go get a fish fry at any restaurant any Friday, 365 days a year. Just like all year round.
They're more religious? Is it
It's just like people love their
Catholic?
fish. It's not even because you're Catholic, it's because it's Friday and it's an excuse to have like lake perch, which is unbelievable. If you ever get a chance, lake perch. Best fish for fish fry. And then when I came here, it was only during Lent. And I was like, all right, I guess. And then it was like this fish on a dish or fish on a bun. And I'm like, why is there a bun involved in my fish? Like the fish sandwich was like a new thing to me. I was shocked. I was like, what is the bread for? And, now of course I love it. It's just a much more convenient method to get the fish into my mouth. But like, I was just so confused. And like, you go up, up to the line and then the old Yinzer lady is like, what do you want? And they're insistent. And I'm like, they're like, on a dish or on a bun? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I had to like step out of line my first time. And like, Krista looked at me with horror, like, what are you doing? Don't get out of line at the fish fry. Like, we've been waiting forever. She's like, you should know by now. And I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. So yeah, I figured it out quick and then I remedied that. But yeah. And I never had halushki and like, all these delicious things covered in butter, like
so
are now part of my word.
Did the Milwaukee Poles eat? That's really confounding to me.
I'm not sure. Like
were they really Polish?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole neighborhood, like a whole Polish neighborhood, and it's filled with these specific types of houses. They're called Polish flats. That's what they called them there. And like the Poles that moved in to Milwaukee, their whole family was there, extended family. They had enough money to build one floor of a house. And then as soon as the family made more money, they would jack the house up, put a basement in, family would expand downstairs. And then as soon as they had more money, they would jack the house up, build another basement. So they're basically building from the bottom up instead of on top of the house. So you see all these houses that were like 3 stories, but it looks like they have 2 basements, like there's not a lot of windows. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, turn of the century, like building techniques. It was cheaper to move a house than build a new one. You know what I mean?
But jacking it up seems
like
build on top.
You would think. I don't know.
Real weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's like a lot of basement doors, no garages, but just like just random doors on these floor. It's very cool. It's very cool. It's very industrious Milwaukee kind of thing.
Interesting.
But yeah, yeah. I love architecture, so I always look at like, oh, that's weird. That's why Pittsburgh kind of fascinated me when I first moved here. I'd never seen a row house before.
Really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, because there's just like there was no need to put houses next to each other that close because there was plenty of space and it was flat.
Yeah.
So you have to take into topography. There's only so much room for houses, so squeeze them in.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So you've been in Pittsburgh now for how long?
Since 2008, 9, 2000, between 2008 and 2009. I moved over Labor Day,
Oh,
2008, I
good.
think.
12 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yes, now officially longer than I lived in Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and almost as long as I lived in Minneapolis. So,
So you're
yeah,
dividing your life into these
into
chunks.
locations. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I could say I'm a Pittsburgher now, definitely.
Excellent. So how do you feel that the three different areas that you've lived in now have culminated in how you make food decisions today?
You know, I think each area kind of symbolizes a progression in my style of eating and in my choices about the food that I eat. So in, Minnesota, it was basically what I was fed because I was living with my family and that's what was available and you just eat what's in front of you. So it was
Yeah.
often just kind of like bland, basic, but still obviously good. And then, in
Did you cook when you
Wisconsin,
were a kid?
um, I helped my mom cook. Yeah. I helped her can, like make tomato sauce and make, canned peaches and pears and things like that. Um,
That's
not a
pretty advanced.
ton. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just stuff them in the jar, you know?
Yeah, but to get that concept as a kid, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like we pretty frugal growing up, so there's a lot of canning going on, a lot of
Yeah.
preserving. Um, but and then I moved to Wisconsin. I could make my own food decisions, but I didn't have any money, so I was in college. So it was like still pretty basic. I was kind of learning how to cook. I did a lot of like steamed broccoli and they're like prepackaged um chicken Kiev, like frozen things that you would like put in the oven.
Okay.
You could microwave them, but I put them in the oven to be fancy. So I ate that a lot, and like I learned how to cook salmon and papillote, which is just like wrapped in um, like parchment and
Mhm.
steamed in the oven. I did that a lot when I could afford fish, because fish is expensive, you
Mhm.
know. Um, Fish that you want to eat and not get sick from is expensive. Um, so like I started kind of exploring what it meant to like cook your own food, like actually cook, not just heat.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's a very big difference, because like I graduated from college, I got a full-time job. I was making, a little bit more money so I could afford to like buy food and then, that I could actually cook. That wasn't just a salt bomb. Um, and, it's hard to cook for yourself. So I didn't really start exploring that until I started dating people and wanting to cook for them. Um,
Yep. I
and
remember having when I was single having like cereal for dinner.
yeah, and I was like, this
It's
is
just so
totally fine. Yeah, it's done. It's fine.
and yeah,
It's a
someone
one
else was
pot
like, "Oh
meal.
shit, I gotta cook something."
Yeah, exactly. And then I kind of caught the bug for it after like the feeling that I got when someone ate the food that I made and liked it.
Yeah.
And, I was probably 23, 24, and I ended up making my family's full Thanksgiving dinner for all my friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like, something like 10 dishes, you know, and it was a marathon and I loved
Yeah.
every second of it. And from
Yeah.
that, yeah, from there on, I was just like, oh, I could cook. I can do this stuff. And I always thought like, if you can read, you can cook. If you
Mm.
can just follow directions, you can cook. Might not be the most tasty thing, but that's down to the recipe that you chose,
Yeah.
Um, So, kind of from there, I started experimenting with like flavors. I just remember vividly for one ex-girlfriend, I made, um, she was vegetarian and I am not. So I made this tofu green curry and I like made the curry sauce, like curry myself.
Whoa.
And I like cleaned all the
That's a lot of
peppers.
spices.
Oh my God, it was insane. And I did not wear gloves when I cleaned the peppers.
Oh no.
And I didn't know. I just didn't know. And then halfway through the meal, my thumbnails were burning so badly that I had to just ask her to leave. I'm like, I have to go take care of this. Like I cannot sit here. I was like crying. I hurt so bad. My hands were on fire. I felt like such an asshole.
Yeah, no, I think we've all done that at some point. And you're just like, oh my God, it burns like fire. Like it's
Yes.
still on fire
Yeah, and it was like
so
I felt like it was
long afterwards.
it was like underneath my nails. I was
Yes.
like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die." I was like, "You have
Yeah,
to
like
go."
the right and then you like you try and like get it out of there and you suck on it for a minute and it's
And then
like
your
then
mouth
your
is on
mouth is
fire.
burning.
I just remember like sticking my hands in like milk. I just was like,
Really
this is
cold. Oh man.
yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But like that kind of was my first experimentation. Didn't go
And
so
how was
well.
the curry though? That's the big part.
It was not good.
Oh,
It was so gross. And I
oh,
was like, this is terrible. Why didn't I buy a jar of curry sauce?
yeah. Yeah,
But
the curry paste at least.
yeah, well, and that's the thing is like this is before I knew Asian grocery stores existed.
Yeah.
And I was living in Wisconsin. Like my options were limited to like the ethnic aisle of the, supermarket down the street.
Yeah.
And which was not an aisle. It was like one side of half an aisle. It was just like tiny.
Yeah.
So like my resources weren't great. I mean, if now that I know that there's Asian grocery stores to rescue me from all of my flavor needs, I would
Well,
have been there.
I came of the cooking age here in Pittsburgh, and so I was aware of the strip district. Like just
That's
when we
such
first
a
got married, we just go and wander
amazing.
around down there. It's really such a resource.
It is. And like, so I remember I came to Pittsburgh for work the first time and I asked a coworker who had been here before, and he was an older guy, and he's like, "Okay, you have to go to Carson Street and just go into shops and walk up and down." Because I had like 4 days, and I only had to work for like 8 hours,
Wow.
so I had like stuff to do. And he's like, "And then go to the strip and like just eat." And I walked through the strip for the first time, and I think my jaw was on the ground. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, "This is unbelievable." And I was like, "Oh, there's a Greek place, and there's an Italian place, and then there's a Turkish place, and then," and I couldn't even handle it.
Yeah.
It was a magical experience.
The cheese counter at Penmac.
Oh my God. I was just like, "Where am I?"
And
And
you
then I
live in
went,
Wisconsin, so
yes, so I do know cheese, but the cheese is so different there. Like you're not getting like it's not standard to get provolone. I was like, "What is provolone?"
mm.
Honestly, I did not know. I didn't know any Italian meats. I also didn't know any. I didn't eat a hot Italian sausage until I moved here because
Oh
there's
wow.
only German sausage.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
also have never had a good bratwurst in Pittsburgh, so not one. I have tried. Nothing stands up. Nothing stands up to an Usinger sausage. Yeah.
You've also traveled, and
Yes.
I think most of your travels, as ours are probably based on food.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
intentionally, you go there for the adventure, but then the food just takes over.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I used to travel by myself until I met my wife. Um, and my first trip abroad, I went to Italy for 2 weeks. And I was
And
20.
Krista's Italian.
Chris is Italian, yes. She's Italian and Czech. Um, so when I went to, Italy for the first time, I was 22. I was by myself,
Mm.
and I didn't have any money. So I just ate street food and like what was available in little cafes and like so many sandwiches. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to only eat sandwiches. And then I realized what the sandwiches were like. And I was like, yes, I will only eat sandwiches. It's like fresh bread, capicola, and all this like really amazing meat. And, you know, my first porchetta sandwich, I like had to sit down. I was having a moment with myself. I was like, this is the best pork I've ever put in my mouth. And I couldn't even handle it. And yeah, it was fantastic. So, you know, that kind of started my love affair with like different flavors. Cause I was still living in Milwaukee at the time, and I came home and I was like, the food here is boring. You know, you guys don't understand what it's like. You know, I was young and thought I was the only one who ever had that experience, you know. But you know, after that, you know, we travel a lot, or we used to travel a lot around the country. But for our honeymoon, we went to Belgium and England, and I'm Belgian, and my family is the French Belgian, I believe the Walloons, because it's like there's French and Dutch Belgian. So the French Belgian, the food is just like there's a lot of snails and a lot of seafood, but yeah, I just like ate and drank all of like the weird, delicious things that Belgium had to offer. And then we went to London and ate anything but British food. We just ate like so much Indian food,
Oh my God,
you know.
yes.
And
Yeah.
like just never had Indian food like that.
Yeah, me neither. And I realized they don't ask you how spicy do you want it. And I love
No, it just is. They also don't give you rice with it. You have to order that. I learned that the hard way. But at least at the restaurant I was at, they were like, no, you have to order that. I was like, well, okay. Please, can I have some? But yeah, it was
when I ate it with naan, I guess.
yeah, it was just it was fantastic. And like we discovered, I guess the only English food we really ate were pies, like little ham pies.
Pasty.
Oh wow. Yes. So
I
good.
called them pasties.
Oh yeah. Oh, the whole of Cornwall will like punch you for that.
Well, my Brett's English, so
Yeah.
went over there, and that was the first time I had seen these things, and so yeah, my father-in-law's like, they're not called pasties, sweetie.
No. Isn't he from Reading or that area?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. That's what I thought. I've only passed through Reading on a train, and then
Mm.
that's it. But yeah, and you know, like where else have we been? We went to Italy a couple years ago as adults. I mean, the first time I went, you know, I could afford sandwiches. And the next time I went, you know, Chris and I were able to, you know, did eat a lot of sandwiches, but we also were able to like go to like nicer restaurants and really experience kind of the coursed out meals. And even
Yes.
like, yeah.
Nice.
And so we went to, I think the most intense food experience was Bologna. And I would say that if you like to eat, that is the place for you. Like it is small, and it's been a college town for well over 1200 years. So like the cheap food scene for college kids that's been around for, you know, a bazillion years is on point. And you can get the most amazing meal coursed out for like 10 euro. It's just unbelievable.
Well, that is a fantastic tip.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a great tip. I did not know that.
Yes. Yes. And they have all these
File
different
that away.
markets. Yeah. And the food is fantastic. And it's not a super touristy town. So yeah, it's fantastic. Bologna. I highly recommend.
Cool. Thanks.
Yes. I ate horse there. I have to say I did. I ate some horse.
How's
It's a
horse?
thing. It's actually pretty tasty. It like they're in the Bolognese tradition. There's Equilino butchers, and they can only do horse.
Hmm.
And then there are regular butchers that are totally separate, and they cannot be crossed. But it's Yeah, it's a very old tradition, and I believe it's born out of some pretty lean times. Um, I'm sure it's much older than World War II, but during World War II, food was very scarce. And, I learned about this while we were there. And, if you had to feed your kids, you feed your kids on whatever meat was available.
Yeah.
And it kind of evolved. And the way we had it was like a dried, thinly sliced. I can't pronounce it. Is it like brisole, brisola?
So kind of like a
There's a
turkey?
yes, but it's real thin and dried, and it was kind of sweet.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't eat it frequently, but I had to try it. You know?
My colleague is from France, and we asked her once about horse, and she was like, "Well, yeah, it was just another meat.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah. It just is.
makes sense. It's a big animal. It's got a lot of meat on
Yep,
it. You eat it."
yep, yep. And people weren't. It wasn't a pet. It wasn't considered
Yeah.
a pet. It was a resource.
Hungry, yeah, you'll eat anything. But fortunately,
Exactly.
even in these times, we don't have to
Nope.
think about eating our pets just yet.
No, God, not yet.
But how have these times been for you guys and your eating habits? Are you eating out? Are you cooking more?
So, I feel like we're cooking more, but we're very much intentional about our eating out now instead of just grabbing something because we are too busy or too tired to cook or don't have the time to cook. We're now planning out, okay, we have this much money. These are the places that we'd like to support.
Yep.
Like, let's schedule it. Like we have friends that we have backyard beers with and, you know, get takeout together. So we each order our own takeout and we have our own tables and don't do it so much anymore because it's cold out. It's
Snowing.
hard to sit out.
There was snow
Yeah,
sitting on the ground.
I know. That was a shock.
Me too.
Um, I mean, it's winter, it shouldn't be that much of a shock. But but so we're just more intentional about like where we eat out. And we've been really trying to eat a lot of Asian food, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, because I knew that they were kind of getting hit extra hard
We
with
did the same thing. Yeah.
racist assholes.
Yes.
So we ate a lot of Chengdu gourmet, a lot of Szechuan. Um, and like you can always tell how many people they think you're ordering for by how many rices they give you. Um, and we get like 4 or 5 containers of rice, and I'm like, we just like to try a lot of different things.
Yeah, well, you're glad for the rice because you need the rice to go with the food. So,
Yes, yes, because we
so
always order a lot.
is your go-to the Chengdu on Forward?
Yes,
Chengdu Gourmet on Forward Avenue?
yes.
What's your favorite thing there? Because I do love Szechuan. That's a thing that I've gotten into recently, and I didn't
Mhm.
realize that numbing is a flavor.
Yes, yes, and nose sweat. So much nose sweat. Oh, I love it. Some of our favorite we have a standard order that we sometimes deviate from, but it's pretty standard. Um, it's oh, what is it? It's been a minute. Oh, cumin beef. And it's so spicy and delicious and cuminy. They have beef and lamb. We usually do the beef.
Okay.
Um, basil chicken, which is not spicy.
Okay.
So that's like our non-spicy bite in between the other spicy bites because you have to like
Uh-huh.
kind of do a round robin of your plate. Um, that one. Sometimes chunking chicken, which is like popcorn chicken. So it's breaded and fried, and then it's like in all these chilies. It's so good.
That's the hot dry chicken, right? Isn't it? Or
Yes,
sometimes
yes,
call it
I
it's
think so.
chunky.
Chunking, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what they call it is chunking chicken.
Uh-huh.
Um, green beans with pork, and they're like the dry sauteed green beans that are
Yes.
so good. Scallion pancakes. I know there's one more meat that we usually get. Oh, I can't remember. But yeah, usually it's several containers. We
It
we got
sounds
introduced.
exactly like what we do.
Yeah, it's so good. But we got introduced through some friends, and they're like, okay, if you go for the first time, you need to go with people who know what to order, and you just eat what they order. And I love mapo tofu too. So good, so spicy. And we tried it for the first time, and like it blew my mind, and it cracked that part of my eating wide open. And now I'm like, I need to try all the Szechuan.
Yeah,
Same with Krista, because we were kind of afraid. We're like, oh, it's too spicy, it's too spicy. And it just was fantastic. And then we took our staff there. This was obviously pre-COVID. And we ordered, I mean, she had to like flip the pad over like 3 times. And she was like so annoyed with us by the time she's like, I'm done writing here. This is like crazy. And I'm like, we're a staff full of eaters and you have to be able to try everything. So
yeah.
yes.
And
Plus
then
have
take
left.
home leftovers.
Yes, yes. So good.
Another one I would recommend is Howlee if you haven't tried it. They have a special Szechuan menu and it's really amazing too.
Okay. Because I've had their American menu. I've never had their Szechuan. I was
And
afraid. I don't know why I'm afraid.
they have the hot dry chicken
Okay.
and they have this I think it's like pork belly on fermented greens, which is amazing.
Okay.
Their eggplant, there's an eggplant dish that they have. It's all
Ooh.
on the back
Okay.
of the menu, or like you can look at the special Szechuan like towards the end of their website or whatever. But yeah, that was actually the first one where I got the hot dried chicken. It was, I don't know what made me get it, but it's really like it's a bowl. There's as much peppers as chicken, and then
Yes.
dried peppers that you don't eat. So you have to
Yes.
kind of sort through it, but it's really spicy and it tastes like nothing when you put it in your mouth.
And
Then
then
after
it grows.
yeah. Yeah, and then the flavors start to unfold, and then your mouth is burning and the flavors are unfolding, and then you're like, I want more in my mouth. It's
Yes. It's like
like
you can't
very
stop. I
nourish.
know. It's so good.
Yeah, it is for
So
sure. But yeah, that's my tip. So yeah, so you've been supporting Asian restaurants. I totally
yes.
am on board with that.
Lots of Asian restaurants. There's a really great one, Pho Min. It's on Penn Avenue.
Oh yeah, in
Yes. They
in
have
Garfield.
yes, in Garfield. Yeah, their bun is really good. We go there all the time, as much as possible. And they hands down, I know this is fighting words, have the best spring rolls in the city.
All right.
Absolutely.
The pressed
Crunchy,
or the fried?
fried.
Okay.
Fried spring rolls. They're like skinny and like big and crunchy and just like when we used to go out for First Fridays, we would walk down there and like get spring rolls as like a snack to walk around. They're so
Aw,
good.
the days when
Yeah.
we used to be able to walk around and
Do
eat
stuff.
food.
I know.
You can't
Without
even
like
put the
lifting
mask
up our
on.
lifting up our burkas, like
Oh, these
crazy.
times, man.
I know. But yeah, so and like Park Bruges, just like our neighborhood places, we've been trying to really support.
Yeah.
Casa de Brazil has been a revelation. Their food is so good and like so fresh, and I love it. It's
Yeah.
so good.
What do you get there?
Yes. I get this, it's like shrimp in a coconut stew over rice. And then Krista gets the beef. It's like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like beef over rice. And then we always get this peppers, onions, and sausage saute. And it's so good.
Nice.
It's like simple and super flavorful. Yeah. And they're a really great business. And they opened up last year, I believe. So yeah, but they're excellent and they have really good online ordering.
Yeah, that's cool. We've eaten there a couple times. Brett likes the fish curry.
Ooh, yes.
He's very
I
disappointed
know.
because he only lasts one meal. He eats the whole thing in one meal.
You eat the whole thing. Yeah. I with the rice, I try to like mix it up so I like get enough rice where I can like let it, do it for 2 meals.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I really like Casa Brazil because they use the paper containers.
yes.
They don't use the styrofoam, and I
Yeah.
totally, kudos to them for
Yes.
that
Yes.
for sure. I mean,
I know.
Most of the Asian restaurants they have the plastic containers and then the paper for the rice, which is good. But
Yes. But also like I don't need any more plastic containers.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like tell people when I order, please do not put any utensils in.
yeah,
Sometimes I forget because I'm just like, I don't need any more
the
goddamn
little
forks.
in the packets.
The packets. Oh
Packets,
my
that's always
God.
good.
Save them. I know like we have to buy stuff. I know that costs them money. Like,
Yeah.
just don't give it to me unless I ask. So they'll get it. They'll get it. Yeah.
What is something that you're most looking forward to after this pandemic, or I don't know, in the future? What's a food thing you're looking forward to in the future?
So I know I talked to Krista about this the other day. It's the exact thing that we did for our last meal. So my birthday was March 13th, the day Pennsylvania shut down. Yeah. We were not sure about our plans, but we're just like, you know what? Things are getting bad. We're going to do it because it's not going to be able to happen again. And we went to Morcia. Yes, and we sat at the bar in the corner by the window. It's our favorite spot, and we had like all of the little plates, and then we had a steak there's steak to share. If they are still doing that when they open back up, it is unbelievable. It's like with like trumpet mushrooms. It's just so good. And then several gin and tonics, and that is what I miss. It was the moment of my last in restaurant dining experience.
Aww.
It was my last public hug with someone that wasn't in my house. And like that, I miss the experience of like eating amazing food and not having to clean up. Just, I want someone to serve me and I don't want to feel terrified when it happens.
Yeah.
Because we haven't gone out to eat at all. We haven't sat outside. We haven't done anything. We're just all to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Us too. It seems wrong to.
Yeah, except Roundabout Pop-Up. We did that twice, but that's outside.
But that's drinking, so it's.
Yeah, we were drinking at a table by ourselves. It was pretty. It was like the only place we felt really safe doing that.
Oh, that's nice.
Because it's big.
Is it the one down by the river?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Down by the river. Yeah, it was great.
Well, spring will be good, hopefully.
Yes, I know. I can't wait to be able to like sit in my backyard at the fire pit and like not be cold.
Yeah.
So, but that's the first thing. Like when things open back up and everyone's immunized and we can, do something quote unquote normal. I want to go and have like a really beautiful meal at a really nice restaurant.
Nice.
Well, yeah.
Cheers to that. Yes. And thank you so much, Katie, for being
on the
podcast. Katie Heldstab from the famous from ice cream coner, but a whole bunch of other amazing things we could talk about that Katie is.
Well, thank you. I do want to give a plug though for my favorite food since birth, pickled herring in wine sauce. It is absolutely one of the most perfect foods and nutritious. So
excellent. Yeah. Next time you come over, you'll have to talk to Brett about that because he used to be a cream sauce herring guy and now he's changed over to the wine sauce. And Costco has the best deal on that. So
do they?
You guys talk all about it when you come over.
I had to wait in line at Woolies.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, Woolies has good wine sauce. Okay, I'll ask him. I'll ask him next time I see him.
And do you want to tell people where they could find your business?
You go to our website, leonaspgh.com, and there's lists of like all of our flavors, not all of them, but like a good amount of our flavors, as well as a locator list of all of our stores, restaurants, breweries, markets, both in list form and on a map, so you can kind of like figure out where you are and what's the closest one to you. So
Jonesing for Leona's ice cream.
Yes, exactly. What's the closest one and are they open? But yeah,
my favorite is the blueberry ice cream with the oatmeal lace cookies.
Oh, so good.
Yep.
It'll be out. I know it'll be out in early summer.
So Leona's
PGH. .com.
LeonaspGH.com.
Yep. And then our Instagram and any of our social media is just Leona's LLC.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Katie, thanks so much. It was really good talking
to you. Thanks, Shelley.
Have a lovely day and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Everyone knows that food is cool. No secret. Eat that food with a bowl and spoon.
With Bowl and Spoon is written, produced and hosted by Shelley Danko Day. Original theme song was written and performed by Paul LeBreeze and friends. You can listen to With Bowl and Spoon wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe, like, review and share. Follow us and send us questions or messages on Facebook and Instagram at With Bowl and Spoon. Thanks for listening.
Bowl and spoon. Bowl and spoon. Bowl